The needle slides out of Caleb's arm. He doesn't flinch, doesn't cry, just stares at the ceiling tiles, 43 of them he's counted before, while the doctor peels off latex gloves and drops them into a silver bin. Dr. Pemberton leans back against the exam table, arms crossed. His voice is steady. Clinical. The kind of calm that makes bad news feel like a diagnosis you should have expected. No spinal damage, he says. No nerve compression. No muscular atrophy. Silas Rowan stands by the window, hands shoved deep into the pockets of his tailored slacks. He doesn't turn around, doesn't speak, just watches the rain streak down glass 46 floors above Manhattan. Before we continue the story, kindly tell us where are you watching from, and subscribe to our channel for you to get more and part 2. Thanks. Let's continue. Then why can't he walk? Silas finally asks. Dr. Pemberton looks at Caleb. The boy is 5 years old, small for his age, dark curls pressed flat against the paper-covered pillow. His legs are thin but not weak. His knees bend, his toes curl. Every test says his body works. I don't know, the doctor admits. Silas turns, his jaw tightens. You don't know. Mr. Rowan, your son is medically capable of walking, but every time we ask him to stand, his legs give out. It's not physical, it's psychological. Silas finishes, voice flat. Dr. Pemberton nods. Caleb closes his eyes. Silas has moved mountains. Closed billion-dollar deals in boardrooms where men twice his age blinked first. Built an empire that ships half the country's goods overnight. He controls supply chains across 3 continents. But he can't make his son take a single step. The rain keeps falling. Caleb whispers something so soft the doctor almost misses it. What did you say, buddy? Caleb's fingers twist the edge of the thin hospital blanket. I said, my legs don't listen. Silas walks to the bedside, kneels. His hand hovers over Caleb's small shoulder but doesn't land. He doesn't know how to touch without breaking something. They will, Silas says. We'll figure this out. Caleb opens his eyes. They're wet, but he's not crying. Promise? Silas stands, straightens his collar, doesn't answer. Dr. Pemberton walks them out. The hallway smells like disinfectant and burnt coffee. Nurses pass without looking. Someone's pager beeps 3 times. A wheelchair waits by the elevator. Silas lifts Caleb into it without a word. The boy weighs almost nothing. Outside, the city glows through sheets of rain. Yellow cabs honk. Tourists huddle under scaffolding. Life keeps moving. Caleb watches it all from the back seat of a black Mercedes. His father sits beside him, phone already out, emails already loading. Daddy? Silas doesn't look up. Yeah? Do you think I'm broken? The phone goes dark. Silas stares at the blank screen. His reflection stares back. Older than he remembers. Tired in a way money can't fix. No, he says quietly. But he's lying. And Caleb knows it. What happens when the richest man in the room realizes his money can't buy the one thing that matters? The penthouse smells like leather and silence. Caleb's wheelchair hums across marble floors, electric motor barely audible over the sound of rain still drumming against floor-to-ceiling windows. 46 stories up. Central Park spreads out below like a dark lung in the city's chest. Silas stands at his desk, tie loosened, cufflinks already off. 3 monitors glow in front of him. Stock tickers scroll. Emails flood in. A conference call is scheduled in 12 minutes. He built this. Every steel beam in this building, every contract, every shipment that moves through his logistics network while people sleep. He built it all from a 1-room apartment in Brooklyn with a used laptop and a credit card he maxed out twice. Now he owns the building, but he can't fix his son. Caleb wheels himself to the window, presses his palm flat against the glass. Fog blooms around his fingers. Can I go outside tomorrow? He asks. Silas doesn't look up from his screen. Maybe, if it stops raining. It's been raining for 4 days. Then maybe it'll stop on day 5. Caleb traces a line through the condensation, a crooked path that goes nowhere. Daddy? Do other kids forget how to walk? Silas's fingers freeze over the keyboard. He closes his eyes, breathes, opens them again. No, he says, not usually. Then why did I? The monitors hum. The city hums. The rain keeps falling. Silas stands, walks over, crouches beside the wheelchair. His knees crack. He's 38, but feels 50. Listen to me, he says. We're going to figure this out. I'm calling every specialist in the country. We'll go to Boston. We'll go to California if we have to. Caleb looks at him. Really looks. His eyes are too old for 5. What if they all say the same thing? Silas doesn't answer, because they already have. 8 specialists, 4 hospitals, 2 experimental programs, same results, same confusion, same polite version of "we don't know." Caleb turns back to the window. I saw a kid running today, he says. In the lobby, he dropped his ball and it rolled under a couch and he just ran after it, like it was nothing. Silas's chest tightens. You'll run again too. You don't know that. I do. You're lying. The words land like a slap. Silas stands, runs a hand through his hair. He wants to say something, wants to promise, wants to be the kind of father who knows what to do. But he's not. He's a man who solves problems with money and leverage and 18-hour workdays. He's a man who closes deals, not wounds. A soft knock echoes from the US hallway. Silas glances at his watch. 7:45. The night cleaning crew. He forgot they were coming. A woman steps into the room. Early 30s, dark skin, hair pulled back under a faded bandana. She wears a gray uniform with a name tag that says Naomi. Her sneakers squeak on the marble. She carries a bucket in one hand and a mop in the other. "Evening, Mr. Rowan," she says quietly. Silas nods, barely acknowledges her. He's already back at his desk, back in his emails, back in the world where he has control. Naomi sets the bucket down, glances at Caleb by the window. The boy doesn't turn around. She starts in the kitchen, wipes down counters no one's used, straightens chairs already straight, works quietly, efficiently, like someone who's learned to be invisible. But Caleb hears her, hears the water slosh, hears the mop drag, hears her humming something low and soft, a melody he doesn't recognize. He wheels himself closer. Naomi doesn't stop working, doesn't look at him, just keeps mopping. "You always hum?" Caleb asks. She smiles, doesn't stop moving. "Keeps me company." "You're not lonely when people are here?" "People here don't usually talk to me." Caleb nods. He understands that. Naomi finishes the kitchen, moves to the living room. Her mop swirls in slow, steady circles. "You like cars?" she asks. Caleb blinks. "Yeah, how'd you know?" She nods toward the shelf by the couch. A row of toy cars, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, a tiny Tesla, sit perfectly aligned. "They're not dusty," she says. "Someone plays with them." Caleb wheels over, picks up the red Ferrari, spins the wheels. "I used to race them," he says. "On the floor, before." "Before what?" He doesn't answer. Naomi doesn't push. She just keeps humming. And for the first time in 2 years, Caleb doesn't feel like everyone's staring at the thing he can't do. Why does a boy who's forgotten how to walk suddenly feel seen by someone no one else notices? Morning light cuts through the windows like broken glass. Caleb wakes in his bed, custom built, low to the ground so he can slide into his wheelchair without help. The sheets are Egyptian cotton. The pillows are hypoallergenic. Everything in this room was chosen by an interior designer who never asked what Caleb wanted. He hears his father's voice in the next room, sharp, clipped, a phone call that started too early. Caleb wheels himself to the doorway, listens. "I don't care what the delay is, Marcus. I care that it's costing me $300,000 a day." Fix it or find someone who will. Silas ends the call, slams the phone on the counter, presses his palms flat against the marble like he's holding the whole building up. Caleb rolls backward. Quiet. He's learned to be small around his father's anger. An hour later, Silas is gone. Another meeting, another city, another deal that matters more than breakfast. Caleb eats alone. Toast, orange juice, a banana sliced into perfect circles by the housekeeper who comes twice a week and never speaks to him. He wheels himself to the window. Same view, same park, same pigeons circling the same trees. He watches a group of kids playing soccer on the great lawn. They're small from up here, tiny figures chasing a ball that looks like a white dot. One boy falls, gets up, keeps running. Caleb presses his forehead against the glass. He doesn't remember what running feels like. He doesn't remember what standing feels like. All he remembers is the shaking, the way his knees buckle the second he tries, the way his heart races, the way the room spins, and the fear, always the fear. He doesn't know what he's afraid of, but it's there, every time, a weight pressing down on his chest, a voice in his head screaming, "Don't." He's tried to explain it to his father, tried to explain it to the doctors, but no one understands. They just keep asking him to try again. The elevator dings. Caleb turns. Naomi steps into the penthouse, bucket in one hand, cleaning supplies in the other. She's early today, still wearing the same bandana, same worn sneakers. She sees him by the window. "Morning," she says. Caleb nods. She sets her things down, glances at the untouched toast on the table. "Not hungry?" "Not really." She wipes down the counter, doesn't push, doesn't lecture. "You like music?" she asks. Caleb shrugs. "I guess." Naomi pulls out her phone, an old model, cracked screen. She scrolls for a second, then taps play. A song fills the room. Old, soulful. A woman's voice singing about rivers and roads and finding your way home. Caleb tilts his head. "What is this?" "Nina Simone," Naomi says. "My mama used to play her all the time. She moves to the rhythm while she works, not dancing, just swaying, like the music's moving through her whether she wants it to or not." Caleb watches. There's something about the way she moves. Easy, unafraid, like her body knows what to do without being told. "You ever feel scared?" he asks suddenly. Naomi pauses, looks at him. "Every day." "Of what?" She thinks for a moment. "Lots of things. Bills, losing my job, forgetting what my son's laugh sounded like." Caleb's eyes widen. "You have a son?" Naomi's face changes, just for a second. Something heavy passes through her eyes. "I did," she says quietly. Caleb doesn't ask more. He understands some questions don't have good answers. Naomi finishes the counter, moves to the windows, sprays glass cleaner, wipes in smooth, circular motions. "You know what I do when I'm scared?" she says. "What?" "I move anyway." Caleb frowns. "What if you can't?" "Then I hum, or I breathe, or I stand real still until the scared part gets bored and leaves." She glances at him over her shoulder. "Fear's just noise, baby. Loud noise, but it's still just noise." Caleb looks down at his legs. They're just sitting there, doing nothing, like they don't belong to him. "What if the noise won't stop?" he whispers. Naomi stops cleaning, turns around, crouches so she's eye level with him. "Then you learn to move with it," she says. "Not around it, not after it's gone. With it." Caleb's throat tightens. No one's ever said that before. Naomi stands, goes back to the windows. The music keeps playing. And for the first time, Caleb wonders if maybe, just maybe, his legs aren't the problem. What if the thing keeping him in that chair isn't in his body at all? 3 days later, Naomi comes back. Same time, same bucket, same quiet hum as she works. But this time, Caleb's waiting. He's parked by the living room couch, toy Ferrari in his lap, eyes following her as she moves through the space. She notices, doesn't say anything, just starts cleaning. Caleb clears his throat. Can I ask you something? Naomi glances over. Sure. Why do you hum all the time? She smiles, sets down her spray bottle. Keeps my head from getting too loud. What's loud in your head? Same thing that's loud in everybody's head. Worry, regret. All the things I should have done different. Caleb nods slowly. He knows that noise. Naomi picks up the mop, dips it in the bucket, wrings it out. You know what else helps? She says. What? Moving? She doesn't wait for him to respond, just starts swaying. Slowly, hips shifting, feet shuffling. Not a dance, just movement. Caleb watches. His fingers tighten around the toy car. I can't move, he says. Naomi doesn't stop, doesn't look at him. Your wheels move? That's different. Maybe. But it's still movement. She hums louder. The melody wraps around the room like smoke. Caleb rolls forward, just a little, enough to be closer. Do you ever get tired of cleaning? He asks. Every day. Then why do you do it? Naomi pauses, leans on the mop, looks at him. Because sitting still makes the loud part louder. Caleb's chest tightens. He gets that. Sitting still is all he does, all he's allowed to do, all his body will let him do. And the loud part in his head? It never stops. Naomi finishes the floor, moves to the coffee table, wipes it down in slow circles. Caleb watches her hands, steady, rhythmic, like they know what to do without thinking. Can I tell you something? He says quietly. Anytime. I'm scared. Naomi stops, looks at him. Of what? I don't know. That's the worst part. I don't even know what I'm scared of. But every time I try to stand, it's like my body won't let me, like something's holding me down. Naomi sets the rag down, walks over, sits on the floor in front of his wheelchair, cross-legged, eye level. You ever have a nightmare? She asks. Caleb nods. And when you wake up, your heart's pounding, right? Even though nothing's actually there? Yeah, that's what fear does. It shows up even when there's no reason. It shows up because it's good at showing up. Caleb's eyes sting. So what do I do? Naomi reaches out, taps his knee gently. You let it show up. And then you move anyway. Caleb stares at her. No one's ever said it like that before. Not the doctors, not his father, not the specialists who poked and prodded and asked the same questions over and over. Everyone wanted him to not be scared. Naomi's the first person who said it's okay if he is. She stands, brushes off her knees. I gotta finish up, she says, but I'll be back Thursday. Caleb nods. She picks up her bucket, heads toward the elevator, but before she steps inside, she turns. Hey, Caleb? Yeah? You're not broken. The elevator doors close. Caleb sits there, alone, staring at the spot where she stood. His fingers loosen on the toy car. He sets it on the armrest, and for the first time in 2 years, he wonders if maybe she's right. What happens when the only person who doesn't treat you like a problem starts showing you you're not one? Thursday comes. Caleb's waiting again. This time he's dressed, hair combed, sitting straighter in his chair. He doesn't know why, just feels like he should. The elevator dings. Naomi steps out. Same uniform, same bandana. But today she's carrying something else. A small speaker. Caleb's eyes widen. What's that? Backup, she says with a grin. My phone keeps dying. She sets her things down, connects the speaker, hits play. Music fills the penthouse, louder this time. A jazz trumpet, a bass line that thumps low and steady. A voice singing about freedom and flying and leaving the ground behind. Naomi closes her eyes, sways. Then she starts to move. Not cleaning, not working, dancing. Her feet shuffle, her hips roll, her arms lift and fall like waves. She's not good at it, not trained, but she doesn't care. She laughs at herself, spins too fast, almost trips over the mop bucket, catches herself, keeps going. Caleb's mouth falls open. "What are you doing?" he asks. "What's it look like?" Naomi calls over her shoulder. "But you're supposed to be cleaning." She turns, grins. "I am. Just doing it my way today." She spins again, slower this time, arms out, eyes closed. Caleb's heart hammers. He watches her feet, the way they press into the floor, the way her weight shifts, the way she moves without thinking about it. She makes it look easy. Naomi opens her eyes, sees him staring. "Come on," she says. Caleb shakes his head. "I can't." "I didn't say stand. I said come on." She reaches out her hand. Caleb hesitates, then rolls forward. Naomi takes his hand, pulls it gently into the rhythm. "Feel that?" she says. "Feel what?" "The beat. It's in your chest." Caleb listens. The bass thumps. His heart thumps. She's right. Naomi lets go, keeps dancing, keeps smiling. "Now you try," she says. "Try what?" "Move something. Anything. Just let it go with the music." Caleb looks down at his hands, his fingers. They're gripping the armrests so tight his knuckles are white. He loosens them, taps his fingers on the chair. Once, twice. Naomi cheers. "There you go." Caleb's face flushes, but he keeps going. Taps faster, matches the beat. His shoulders start to move. Just a little, a tiny sway. Naomi spins past him. Her laughter fills the room. Caleb feels something crack open in his chest, something warm, something he hasn't felt in so long he almost forgot what it was called. Joy. He rolls closer, taps louder. His whole body starts to sway. Naomi dances beside him, not in front, not leading, just beside, like they're the same. The song builds, the trumpet screams, the bass pounds. Caleb closes his eyes, and for the first time in 2 years he doesn't feel stuck. He feels light. The music stops. Naomi's breathing hard, grinning, wiping sweat from her forehead. "See?" she says. "You can move." Caleb opens his eyes, looks down at his hands, his shoulders, his body. "I guess I can," he whispers. Naomi crouches down, looks him right in the eyes. "Your legs will follow," she says softly. "But first, you gotta remember what moving feels like." Caleb nods. He believes her. The elevator dings. Both of them turn. Silas steps out. He's early, his tie's already loose, his jacket's off. He looks exhausted. His eyes land on Naomi, then the speaker, then Caleb. "What's going on here?" he asks. Naomi straightens, grabs the mop. "Just cleaning, Mr. Rowan." Silas's gaze narrows. "With music? Helps me work faster." He doesn't look convinced, but he's too tired to argue. "Just keep it down," he mutters. He walks past them, disappears into his office. The door clicks shut. Naomi looks at Caleb, puts a finger to her lips. Caleb grins. She packs up the speaker, gathers her things. "Same time next week?" she whispers. Caleb nods. Naomi steps into the elevator, waves. The doors close. Caleb sits there, alone again. But something's different. His chest feels open. His shoulders feel loose. And for the first time in 2 years, he's not thinking about what he can't do. He's thinking about what he just did. What happens when a 5-year-old who forgot how to move starts remembering what freedom feels like? The door slams. Victor Hale stands in the penthouse lobby, clipboard in hand, jaw tight. His gray suit is pressed sharp enough to cut. His shoes shine like black mirrors. Everything about him screams control. He's been building manager for 6 years. Runs this place like a military base. No noise after 9, no unauthorized guests, no exceptions. And definitely no dancing maids. "Mr. Rowan," Victor says, voice clipped. "We need to talk." Silas looks up from his laptop. He's been awake since 4. 3 meetings already. 2 more before lunch. His coffee's gone cold. "Make it quick, Victor." Victor steps closer, sets the clipboard on the desk, taps it twice with his pen. "It's about your cleaning staff." Silas frowns. What about them? Specifically, Naomi Carter. Silas's hand freezes over his keyboard. What about her? Victor straightens. I've received multiple complaints. She's been playing music during work hours, dancing, distracting your son, wasting company time. Silas leans back. Who complained? That's confidential. Was it you? Victor's jaw tightens. That's irrelevant. The point is she's not following protocol. She's here to clean, not entertain. Silas stares at him, hard. Has the apartment been clean? That's not the... Has it been clean? Victor pauses. Yes, but then I don't see the problem. Victor's neck flushes red. Mr. Rowan, with all due respect, this isn't about cleanliness. It's about professionalism, standards. If we let one employee break the rules, others will follow. Silas closes his laptop, stands. He's 3 inches taller than Victor, uses every inch. I'll handle it, he says. Victor doesn't move. I need assurance that... I said I'll handle it. Victor's mouth opens, closes. He picks up his clipboard, turns. One more incident, he says quietly. And she's gone. He leaves. The door clicks shut. Silas stands there, stares at the space Victor just occupied. He doesn't know why he defended her, doesn't even know her last name. She's just the woman who cleans, who hums, who makes his son smile for the first time in months. That's all, but it's enough. He walks to Caleb's room. The door's cracked. His son's asleep, curled on his side, one hand tucked under his pillow. Silas steps inside, sits on the edge of the bed, careful, quiet. Caleb's breathing is steady, deep, peaceful in a way Silas hasn't seen in years. He reaches out, brushes a curl off Caleb's forehead. I'm trying, he whispers. I don't know how, but I'm trying. Caleb doesn't wake. Silas stands, walks out, closes the door softly behind him. He doesn't sleep that night. 2 days later, Naomi comes back. Caleb's waiting. Same spot, same chair, same hope in his eyes. Hey, she says. Hey. She sets her things down, glances around. The penthouse is quieter than usual, feels heavier. You okay? She asks. Caleb nods, but his hands are twisted in his lap. My dad talked to the building guy. He says, Victor, he said you were in trouble. Naomi's face doesn't change. I'm fine. He said you can't play music anymore. Then I won't. Caleb's eyes fill. But you have to. It's the only time I feel, I don't know, normal. Naomi crouches down, takes his hands. They're cold, shaken. Listen to me, she says. I don't need music to be here. I don't need anything but you being okay. That's all that matters. But what if they fire you? Then they fire me. But, Caleb, her voice is firm, kind. Some things are worth the risk. He stares at her. His throat tightens. Why? He whispers. Why do you care? Naomi's eyes soften. She doesn't answer right away, just looks at him. Really looks. Because someone should have cared about my son the way I care about you. The words hang in the air. Caleb doesn't understand all of it, but he understands enough. Naomi stands, picks up the mop, starts cleaning. No music, no humming, just silence. But Caleb watches her anyway, watches the way she moves, steady, calm, like she's already decided something no one else knows yet. That night, he doesn't sleep. He lies in bed, stares at the ceiling, counts the tiles again. 43, always 43. But tonight, they feel different. Tonight, they feel like the walls are closing in. What happens when the one person who made you feel brave is about to disappear? Silas comes home early. He doesn't mean to. A meeting got canceled. A flight got delayed. He walks through the door at 3 in the afternoon instead of 8 at night. The penthouse is quiet. Too quiet. Then he hears it. Music. Soft. Distant. Coming from the living room. His jaw tightens. He told Victor he'd handle it. He told Naomi to keep things quiet. He walks faster, rounds the corner, and stops. Naomi's standing on the marble coffee table, barefoot, arms out, eyes closed, perfectly still. The music plays low, a piano, a voice singing about rising and falling and trying again, and in front of her, gripping the edge of the couch with both hands, is Caleb, standing, on his own feet. Silas's briefcase hits the floor. The sound cracks through the room like a gunshot. Naomi's eyes fly open. She stumbles, catches herself. "Mr. Rowan, I can explain." But Silas isn't looking at her. He's looking at his son. Caleb's legs are shaking. His knees wobble. His whole body trembles like a leaf in a storm. But he's standing. "Daddy," Caleb whispers. His voice breaks. Silas moves without thinking, drops to his knees, reaches out. "Don't," Naomi starts, but Caleb takes a step. His right foot slides forward, barely an inch. His left follows. His face is wet. Tears stream down his cheeks. "I'm doing it," he gasps. "I'm doing it, Daddy." Silas's vision blurs. Caleb takes another step, then another. Each one is agony. Each one is terror. Each one is a fight against every instinct screaming at him to stop. But he doesn't stop. He takes 4 steps. Then his legs give out. Silas catches him before he hits the ground, pulls him close, holds him so tight he can feel Caleb's heart pounding against his chest. "You did it," Silas chokes out. "You did it." Caleb sobs into his father's shoulder. His whole body shakes. Naomi climbs down from the table, steps back, quiet. Silas looks up at her. His face is streaked with tears he didn't know he could still cry. "How?" he whispers. Naomi doesn't answer, just picks up her things, turns toward the elevator. "Wait," Silas says. She stops. "Why did you do this?" Naomi looks at Caleb, then at Silas. "Because no one did it for mine." The elevator doors open. She steps inside. Gone. Silas holds his son, rocks him gently. Caleb's breathing slows, his sobs quiet. "Daddy?" "Yeah? Why couldn't I do this before?" Silas doesn't know, but he's going to find out. 2 hours later, Dr. Pemberton arrives. Emergency house call. Silas called in every favor he had. The doctor examines Caleb, checks his reflexes, tests his strength, runs through the same protocols they've done a dozen times. "There's no physical reason he couldn't walk," Dr. Pemberton says. "Then what changed?" Silas demands. The doctor hesitates. "Mr. Rowan, have you considered trauma?" Silas frowns. "What kind of trauma?" "Psychological, emotional. Something that made his body shut down as a protective response." "He's 5 years old. What trauma could he possibly... Has he witnessed anything distressing? An accident? Distressing? An accident? Violence? Something that frightened him deeply?" Silas opens his mouth, closes it. He doesn't know. He's never asked. Dr. Pemberton turns to Caleb, crouches down. "Caleb, can you tell me if you remember anything scary happening, maybe a long time ago?" Caleb's face goes pale. His hands twist in his lap. "There was a man," he whispers. Silas's blood runs cold. "What man?" Dr. Pemberton asks gently. "On the street. He was yelling. Then a car came. It was loud. And there was so much red." Caleb's voice cracks, and the man didn't get up. Silas feels the room tilt. "When?" he whispers. "When did you see this?" "Before we moved here. Outside the old place. You were at work. I was with the lady who watched me. We were walking, and I saw it." Silas's knees buckle. He sinks onto the couch. 3 years ago, they lived in Brooklyn, a smaller place. A nanny he barely vetted because he was working 90-hour weeks. He never knew. "He stopped walking 2 weeks after that," Silas says numbly. Dr. Pemberton nods. "Psychogenic paralysis. The mind protecting the body from reliving the trauma." Every time he tried to stand, his brain associated it with danger. But why did he walk today? The doctor looks toward the elevator. Because someone made him feel safe. Silas stares at the closed doors. Naomi. She knew. Somehow she knew. What kind of pain does someone carry that lets them see another person's invisible wounds? Silas finds her 3 days later. She's cleaning an office on the 32nd floor. Same uniform, same bandana, same quiet efficiency. He knocks on the open door. She looks up, sees him. Her face doesn't change. Mr. Rowan, can we talk? She sets down her spray bottle. I'm working. I know, I'll make it quick. Naomi crosses her arms, waits. Silas steps inside, closes the door. The doctors explained what happened, he says, with Caleb. They said he has had psychogenic paralysis from trauma. Naomi nods. I figured. You figured. I've seen it before. Silas's chest tightens. Where? Naomi looks away. Her jaw works. My son, she says quietly. Jamal. He was 7 when he stopped talking. Completely. Doctors ran every test. Nothing wrong, but he wouldn't say a word. Why? Because he watched his daddy get shot. The air leaves the room. Naomi's voice is flat, practiced, like she's told this story too many times. Drive-by. Wrong place. Wrong time. Jamal was in the back seat, saw everything. Silas's throat closes. He stopped talking that night. I tried everything. Therapy, specialists. But nothing worked. And then, one day, her voice cracks. One day he ran into the street chasing a ball. Didn't look. Didn't hear me screaming. She stops. Silas doesn't need her to finish. I'm sorry, he whispers. Naomi wipes her eyes. Me too. Silence stretches between them. That's why you helped Caleb, Silas says. That's why I couldn't not help him. Silas steps closer. I don't know how to thank you. You don't have to. Yes, I do. You gave my son something I couldn't. You gave him permission, Naomi finishes. I gave him permission to be scared and move anyway. Silas's eyes burn. How? Because I never gave it to Jamal. I kept telling him it was okay, that he was safe, that nothing bad would happen again. But I was lying. Bad things do happen, and pretending they don't just makes the fear bigger. She picks up the spray bottle, starts cleaning again. Caleb needed to know it's okay to be terrified, and do it anyway. Silas watches her work. You should have been a therapist, he says. Naomi laughs, bitter. Can't afford the degree. I could pay for it. She stops, looks at him. I don't want your money, Mr. Rowan. Then what do you want? She thinks for a long moment. I want kids like Caleb to have people who get it, who've been through it, who know what it feels like when your body turns into a prison. Silas nods slowly. An idea forms. What if we built that, he says, a center, for kids with trauma-based disorders, staffed by people who understand. Naomi's eyes widen. You're serious? I've never been more serious in my life. She stares at him, searching for the catch. Why would you do that? Because you're right. Money didn't save my son. You did. And if there are other kids out there like him... He trails off. Naomi's eyes fill. I'd want to be part of that, she says. Silas holds out his hand. She takes it. What happens when grief stops being a weight and starts being a bridge? 6 months later. The center opens in Brooklyn, a renovated warehouse with wide windows and soft light. No sterile hospital smell, no cold exam rooms, just space, color, music. Naomi runs the movement therapy program. She teaches kids how to dance badly, how to breathe through panic, how to move with fear instead of against it. She wears the same bandana, the same worn sneakers, but now she gets paid to do what she was doing for free. Caleb visits twice a week. He walks now, not perfectly. His gait is uneven. His legs still shake sometimes, but he walks. He helps Naomi set up the music, talks to the younger kids, tells them it's okay if their bodies don't listen yet. They will, he says. You just gotta give them time. Silas watches from the doorway. He's different now. Home by 6. No more 80-hour weeks. No more emails at dinner. He learned the hard way that empires mean nothing if you're building them alone. Victor Hale was fired 3 weeks after Caleb walked. Silas didn't give him a reason. Didn't need to. Some people measure worth by rules. Others measure it by results. Silas finally learned the difference. One afternoon, Naomi finds him in her office. "Didn't expect to see you today," she says. Silas hands her an envelope. She opens it. Her eyes widen. "What is this?" "Full scholarship. Therapy degree. Nights and weekends so you can keep working." Naomi's hands shake. "Silas, I can't." "Yes, you can, and you will." She looks up. Tears streak her face. "Why are you doing this?" "Because you didn't save just Caleb," he says. "You saved me too." Naomi sets the envelope down, walks around the desk, hugs him. He hugs her back. Two broken people holding each other up. That night, Caleb asks a question. "Daddy, do you think Naomi's son would be proud of her?" Silas thinks for a long time. "Yeah," he says. "I think he would." Caleb nods. "Me too." They sit in comfortable silence. Outside, the city hums. Life keeps moving. But inside, for the first time in years, everything feels still. What does healing look like when it's not about fixing, but about finding someone who understands? A year later, Caleb runs, not far, not fast, but he runs. Across the great lawn, in Central Park, chasing a soccer ball with kids from the center, laughing, falling, getting back up. Silas sits on a bench, watches, smiles. Naomi sits beside him, cap and gown folded in her lap. Graduation was this morning. "You did it," Silas says. "We did it," she corrects. He nods. They sit in silence, comfortable, earned. "You ever think about how different things could have been?" Silas asks. "Every day." "Me too." Caleb scores a goal, throws his arms up, spins in circles. Naomi laughs. "He's got your stubbornness," she says. "And your courage." She shakes her head. "I'm not courageous. You stood on a table for a kid you barely knew. That wasn't courage. That was desperation." "Same thing sometimes." Naomi looks at him. "You really believe that?" "I have to. Otherwise, I'd spend the rest of my life regretting how long it took me to figure out what mattered." Caleb runs over, breathing hard, grinning. "Did you see?" he asks. "We saw," Silas says. Caleb plops down between them. "I think I'm going to be a soccer player." "Maybe," Naomi says. "Or maybe you'll be something even better." "Like what?" "Like someone who helps other kids remember they're not broken." Caleb thinks about that. Nods. "Yeah, I could do that." He jumps up, runs back to the field. Silas and Naomi watch him go. "Thank you," Silas says quietly. "For what?" "For teaching me that the best thing I could give my son wasn't money, it was showing up." Naomi smiles. "You would have figured it out. Maybe. But not in time." They sit. The sun sets behind the buildings. Orange and gold bleeding into purple. The city never stops. But sometimes, if you're lucky, you find a moment that does. A moment where everything you thought mattered falls away. And all that's left is the sound of a child laughing, the feeling of grass under your feet, the knowledge that healing doesn't come from power. It comes from presence, from patience, from one person deciding another person's pain is worth carrying. Caleb runs back, grabs Silas's hand. "Come on, Daddy, play with us." Silas looks at Naomi. She nods. He stands, lets his son pull him onto the field. And for the first time in his life, Silas Rowan doesn't think about what he's building. He thinks about what he's already built. A son who runs, a friendship that saved them both, a life that finally feels like living. Some miracles don't come with fanfare. They come barefoot, on a Tuesday afternoon, from a woman no one noticed, until someone needed her most. If this story moved you, subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. Because the most powerful stories aren't about billionaires or empires. They're about the invisible people who change everything. And we've got more of those coming. Don't miss them. Hit that button. Be part of this journey. See you in the next one.